channel. Today's video we're going to be going over this computer, and as you saw before this, just like a little bit of a montage of the computer, what it looks like. So I'll be going over all the components that this computer consists of, the overall cost that you'll be looking about, and as always, all of the parts for my videos will be listed in the description below of this video. So anyways, I'm just going to turn on the computer and we'll go over all the parts inside the system and a little bit about this guy. So right off the bat, it's got some pretty nice LEDs in it. So we've got an LED strip running up here on the inside of the case, so you can't see it. So that when you're setting up LEDs, to make it look neater, you kind of don't want to see the LED lights. So I have another strip up here, which, as you can see, the LED lights shining through. On some reviews I've seen people, they put the LED lights just kind of out in the open, and I think it looks better if you hide them and you just kind of rely on the ambient light. So what do I mean by ambient light? I mean the light that's reflected off of like say your graphics card, your motherboard, so whatever catches the light. So you don't want to kind of rely for the looks directly off the light. So as you can see in these computers, you have these plastic linings here covering the LEDs because it's just a bit of an eyesore to just look at a straight LED. So that's what I did with this kit. So I bought it from Amazon. It's about $15. So I've got a strip up here pointing down, and I've got a strip up here pointing in towards the computer, which gives it a nice flush look. It kind of fits everything together. So this case, this is the Gamdias Talos M1 case, and it's a great case. It's nice. It's got this nice hinged door, which I've never had a computer with a hinged door before until this one. It's nice and tinted, so when you close it, if you have your lights really bright, it's not that crazy on your eyes. So I would recommend this case for anyone who wants to put their computer on their desk or even on the floor. It's a great case because of the tinted glass. And also with the LED strips I put in, you can also dim them. It has a dimming switch as well, which we'll go over in a second. So right off the bat, we've got a Gigabyte AB350 Gaming 3. It's a bit of a mouthful. Motherboard, which it's got overclocking capabilities. It's a little bit annoying to work through the BIOS settings to get to overclock, but it was easy, simple Google search for anything will net you results. So it's got overclocking capabilities for your processor, which will segue into the processor. So we have an AMD Ryzen 5 1400 series in this specific computer. Currently, as this video comes out, they have a AMD Ryzen 5 2600 series, which that's the current processor. So I'll update the kind of older parts of my build on the Amazon when I post. Yeah. I'll update the build part list in the description for the Amazon links. So so that's the processor in this current system. We've got some G.Skill Ripjaws series RAM in here. It is 2400 megahertz DDR4 RAM, so it's a little bit weaker. Again, this system is about a year old. When I put it together, that was just kind of the cheaper RAM at the time. Not cheap, but decently priced at the time. Obviously now you'll want about 3000 megahertz RAM, which are generally cheap now. So again, in the part list, that will also be updated. And what else we're rocking in this case? So that's 2 sticks of 8. So we've got 16 gigs of RAM in here. And so for the graphics card, we've got an EVGA Geforce GTX, bit of a mouthful. 1060, so 1060, that's what you want to hear. Graphics card unit in here, and it works really well. Actually, an hour ago I was playing with this system. I was playing GTA 5 on max settings, and I was getting 63 frames, so 60 to 63 frames on this guy, and it was great. It's a fun game. So what else we got in here? So I also bought a new terabyte hard drive, which if you're on a budget, hard drive is not bad. There's a bit of a difference between a hard drive and a solid state drive or an SSD. SSDs are obviously faster. Hard drives, if you're on a budget, I recommend them. They're not terrible as long as you're careful. And it's this 1 terabyte hard drive I got at Fry's for $39.99. Whatever it is on Amazon, it's probably more. It was cheap. It was nice, up and running, a few seconds to set up, and it works fine. And for the power supply, we've got a CX750M Corsair power supply unit in here, which is great. It's a great power supply. I believe it's a gold 80 plus. And so for power supplies, as far as this goes for this build, it's a bit overkill. But I had a bad experience with a power supply before this computer, so I wasn't going to risk anything. But generally what you want to do for a power supply is you want to take the current wattage that your computer uses and double it. And whatever that number is, that's the power supply you want to get. This system probably runs about 215 watts, I think. I can't remember, it's been a while since I checked. So I would have been fine with 500 watts, but I could definitely take this power supply unit and use it for either a better build, or I can just definitely upgrade this computer with a better graphics card and have no issues with the power supply. So that's what we got in there. We've got a fan up here, 2 exhaust fans, and yeah, so for the case, specifically, what's great about the case is it's got these 2 fans in the front which have RGB and they have settings, so I can basically set whatever color I'd like for the fans in the front, and so we will show you that right now. So this is what we got right here. So it's got a few settings, really great, convenient button in the front that we can just press to shift between solid colors. Also has an off setting if you ever get annoyed with it. We've got some flashing. There's the off setting, and here's a smoother transition between each color. Just a bunch of different settings on this guy. I prefer green usually. The downside of this case, it's not really much of a downside. This does not change. It's always this yellow color, which is really fine. It's not that irritating at all. So here's the interior. Here's the inside of the case. So there's our AMD Ryzen 5, our Gigabyte motherboard, our G.Skill RAM, our EVGA Geforce 1060, and yeah, so that's basically all there is to it. It's very simple build. There's the LEDs up there shining down, and we got our LEDs right on in here, and there's our power supply right there. So I just set the lighting a little bit better to better emphasize the LEDs that we've got in this guy. So right now I've got the front fan set to green, and so with the remote, so remember these are separate. The LED kit I bought is completely separate from the LEDs in the case in the front, but what's great is they really complement each other. It's not that much annoying to navigate the remote and the button in the front to kind of synchronize them if you want solid colors. So if we want blue, we'll just hit the blue button on this guy, and then the next color on the case is blue. So if we just hit the case button again, we get like kind of a magenta We hit our purple button on here, and kind of there's multiple purple buttons on here. So I believe that's about as close as we're gonna get, which doesn't look too bad. Close this guy up, and that's what I love about the tinted window. Is it hides the light very well, but makes it very attractive at the same time. And then we open it, and it's significantly brighter. So now we're going to go over the LED kit remote, which it's very simple remote. So we've got solid colors here. So I press the red button, and they're all color coded. You know, they don't have any text. Green, blue. They've got different kinds of reds, different kinds of greens, blues. White, I kind of like white because it illuminates the case, I think, better than any of the other colors, but it's just my preference. It also has a setting where you can either raise the brightness or lower it. So this right now is on its max setting, and it's really good and bright. Obviously, the sun is out, and it's looking really bright in here. We can turn down the brightness. That is as dim as it gets, which is pretty dim. And this is as bright as it gets right there. So it has an off and an on feature too. So if you get tired of them, just turn them off. Just like the case does as well. The case fan LEDs, you can also turn them off. So if you just want everything off, that's fine. The other good thing about the motherboard is it also has RGB in it. So which that is a little bit more annoying to change. You have to change that in the BIOS setting, but it's not too annoying. It's not terrible. So that's the LED that's on right now. So it also has these other settings. So I turned it back on. It's got a flash setting. So this is the flash setting. There we go. This is the strobe setting. This is the fade setting. And lastly, we've got the smooth setting. So one thing that I don't believe I saw on the Amazon link for the LED kit was you can actually adjust the speed at which these transition to. You just simply use the dimming and brightness switch. So if I want it slower, you make it dimmer. So that's as slow as it's going to be, and it just keeps changing colors. Because at first when I got the kit, it was just going fast, and I didn't like it. But then I figured out that the dim switches make it faster or slower. So that I was like, oh, okay, wow, I have zero complaints about this. It was very simple, nice, easy to install. And yeah, that's gonna about do it for everything. Thank you for watching the video. Again, if you want to make a simple, nice budget build, I highly recommend this. It's served me very well. I've never had any issues with it. And honestly, this build currently will be stronger than what I have, because this was built about a year ago, so parts have changed, things are cheaper now. So yeah, there you have it. I will have in the description this build, but more updated and current as of today, and it should serve you very well. If you're not, if you don't have like $1,000, this build should be around $700 in that range. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope this was a bit informative. Let me know if there's anything I could do better, explain better, do better, and I'd really appreciate it. So thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.